Good afternoon over here in Nigeria, Lagos State, Nigeria. I know we have speakers joining us from different parts of the world. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. My name is Esther. International Women's Day Celebration 2021. So we'll be celebrating it with amazing topic, amazing program. It's looking for a way to encourage more women into the ecosystem. So our topic today is getting more women involved in the blockchain and fintech space. So I have a beautiful women joining us today, and I use this opportunity to wish you all a happy Women's Day celebration. And thank you for joining us today. So let me proceed by introducing our amazing speakers who took our time joining us today. So let me first of all start with introducing Lisa Laxton, who is the CEO of Infinite Metaverse Alliance. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you. So the next person in line is Victoria Ukpaka, founder of VALUCOP and also OKEx marketing partner. Victoria, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. So next in line is Lara Abdulmalak, who is the editor-in-chief on Blockchain.
Hi.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. The next in line is Priya Suseela Ratnam, who is the founder and CEO of DesiAirdrops. Thank you, Priya, for joining us. You're on mute, Priya. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. So also joining us is Edna Idoroenyen. I don't know, sorry, Inoh, who is the head of customer relationship, PATRICIA. Thank you, Inoh, for joining us.
Thank you so much, too.
So please be on mute. If you're not speaking, please mute your device so that the sound will not be coming out. So we'll be expecting Ruchi, who is a crypto TA analyst. I don't know if she's having some challenges in joining us. Anytime she joins us, we'll introduce her. So let's move straight to today's discussion. So we see today's Women's Day, International Women's Day celebration. So we'll be looking at how we are going to be getting more women involved. So before I go to that, let me introduce myself. I'm Ucheoma. I'm the CEO of Current News Extra. So I'll be anchoring today's program. So I'm blessed among women. I'll be the only man anchoring the midst of women today. So let me go straight to some of the questions we have here. Let me start with you, Lisa. You have 25 years plus experience in software engineering, programming, and consulting. How do you think is the best way to encourage more women into the blockchain and fintech space?
I think that's actually a complicated question because we have to think about things from the end user perspective, how to get more users, people actually using blockchain that are women. But we also need to make sure that we encourage women to engage in STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math programs like with Women Who Code. We should have a lot more cooperative efforts between blockchain developers and Women Who Code and those types of programs. But the more important aspect is that the events need to be women friendly.
Interesting. That's very nice to see. Okay, let me move to you, Victoria. You know how hard it is, to start a business here in Nigeria and other parts of the world. Yeah, you are a lady founder and writer. What has kept you going in the blockchain and crypto space? What are the obstacles? What do you think should be done?
Okay, well, basically, women, this marginalization of contribution to some skills that seem to be reserved for the men, and then some skills seem to be reserved.
Sorry, Victoria, your sound is not clear. Your mic is not clear.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a bit better now. Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Alright, I said so far, like before now, there's a lot of marginalization when it comes to some kind of skill. Hope I'm clear enough now.
It's better now.
Clear?
Continue. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
better.
Okay. All right. So some tech kind of skills were reserved for guys and for men, and then others were for women. But now I think it's diversifying. Like women can now do some kind of tech skills that were previously reserved. Like take for example now web development. There was a time when it seemed like it was only the men that allowed for only men. But now we have women who are very good in these areas. So it's let's say I didn't really have any major challenge getting into the space because I just entered the space with my own skill of writing, and writing wasn't gender biased. So I started writing industry specific content. So I didn't really have challenge in that area. But then I found out that the space is like we had more men in the blockchain and crypto space than women because some women in this side of the world see blockchain and crypto as something very techy for the female to handle. So whenever you mention something like the blockchain, they don't want to hear about it. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
continue. Continue. Yeah,
All
I
right,
can hear
okay.
you. Though your network is
Right.
fast.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. So like I was saying, I found out that there were more men in the crypto space and the blockchain space in this side of the world than the women because the women don't even see it as a place to venture into. But when we now start looking at like recently, I started looking at getting more people involved in crypto jobs, like telling them that it's very doable, it's very possible for them to access crypto jobs. So now, women, I'm having more females interested in blockchain related matters because they're coming from the angle of jobs, like, because they have this mindset like, okay, I can do this kind of job. So when they come in, they just start having experience with the blockchain. So for me personally, I didn't really have a challenge, but then I found out that there are more men than there are females in the blockchain and crypto space, especially in Nigeria.
That's very much a nice one. I'll get back to you. That. Let me move to Lara. Lara, most women think this sector is for tech experts because they don't have tech background. They tend to stay away. What's your opinion on this? Knowing very well you entered the space as a journalist.
Yes. So when you asked that question, when I got it, I was thinking, in the end, it depends on how you look at blockchain and Bitcoin and all of this. If you look at it just from a technical perspective, then yes, women might be, not interested. But in this day and age, it has also other perspectives. Blockchain has a business perspective, has a social perspective, has even a personal perspective. So when we started Unlock, if you look at the media platform that we have, we try and put blockchain into the day to day. How can businesses use it just to improve the way they do business? How can governments use it? How can individuals use it? And when you look at it like that, then you can get more interest from women and everybody. So I think in the very beginning, when you look at blockchain and Bitcoin and all of this, even the number of men who are involved are not that much so far. It's still a very small niche of people who understand it and or are using it and so forth. So I think we need to bring it down to earth, just like the internet was brought down to earth. Now everybody knows how to use it, and everybody understands what they can benefit from it. And so I think that as we do that more and more, we're going to get more and more on board, whether they're women or men. And we can see in the Arab world, I just wanted to mention that because this is where our focus on in the MENA region. For example, in Egypt, there was this one lady, she studied developing on the blockchain by herself. And now she's a developer and she makes money, for her family and for herself from Egypt because she works as a freelancer for companies, that are in the US or Russia or anywhere. So, and we also have the first woman to be the CEO for a regulated crypto exchange in Bahrain. So I see that more and more women are coming on board from a business perspective, from a day-to-day kind of perspective.
That's very nice. And that leads me, to the next question. Let me move to Priya. So, she made mention of a woman being the CEO of an exchange. So let's look at this direction. And there have been some discussions out there that companies should have a certain percentage of number reserved for women in the industry. Let me go this way. Do you think there are rules? Let me start with nations, government of nations. Do you think there are rules? Can you hear me?
Your voice is breaking, Obama.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now it is clear.
Do you think there are rules by government of nations to encourage women into the ecosystem? Are they living up to that expectation, if there is any? Do you think, like I was saying earlier, do you think crypto and blockchain companies should have a certain percentage of women, like they should employ in their company? Is that a good way of encouraging women?
Yeah, actually, the government adoption of the blockchain and the cryptocurrency space is really nascent stages in India when we talk about in Indian cryptocurrency space. So this is actually a very early stages, and as a nation, we have to regulate a lot. We have to adopt the technology, adopt the explore the new work opportunities, especially for women. And in terms of the cryptocurrency space, the government is in the process of introducing the laws. Okay, but still, it is very fearful nowadays. Like a few days back, there was a issue that with the government that it's going to be ban and impose a law to the regulate the cryptocurrencies. But a recent discussion with the finance minister, Srimati N. Sitaraman, who is the FMO of India, she has been clearly mentioned that there is a window for the cryptocurrencies to specifically put up on across the board with the RBA as well as RBA means Reserve Bank of India as well as the Supreme Court. So obviously, yes, the governments are definitely adopting the technology very soon, and I preferably feel like there should be a window for even for women also in this space.
Interesting, nice contribution. Let me move to Edna. Are you with us? Okay, she's with us. Edna, would you say women, like you had other contributions from others, would you say women are really left behind in the tech sector generally? Can you hear me, Edna?
Please, can you take your question again?
Yeah, I said, would you say women are really left behind in the tech sector generally? Can you hear me?
Well, I don't. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. For me, I don't think we are left behind. I just feel that we just need to push to get to where we want to get to, because everything is made available for everybody. Everything is made available for both the male factors and the female factors. So we aren't left behind. We're just there, and then we just need to push further to achieve what others are achieving. Actually have to push further to be where we see others or the male factors in. Most times I think that we women were just laid back. We feel that we have that sentiment that there are some particular career paths that for the male figures we have that sentiment that, oh, because it's hard, because it's boring, it has to do with figures and so on. So it's not for a female person to actually go into it. But I think we have to disabuse that and welcome it as a challenge for us women, and then embrace it and see how fast and how high we can go.
Okay, having said that, I know you are the head of customer relationship management with cryptocurrency exchange. How would you rate the space and women interest in the crypto space? How would you rate women participation in the space?
It's actually low. compared to having the male factors in there. You find out that, like I said earlier, that when it has to do with numbers, when it has to do with figures, when it has to do with complex, I won't call it complex, when it has to do with numbers majorly, by the time you bring it out to women, they actually feel that it's boring, one, having to go through all this, and then it's something that I just can't deal with. I just feel that it's for the males, so I feel that I shouldn't get involved. Looking at it from where we are, we see it that the males, or the male figure, they are the ones that are really in the blockchain, or in the cryptocurrency space. The ladies are coming up, but we still need to push for that. The percentage is actually lower than um, what we have for the male figures.
So interesting. Priya, you heard what Edna said. You are a founder yourself. You are founder and CEO of DesiAirdrops. Many companies, I see your profile here. You've been CEO of many companies. What are some of the barriers to women entrants into the blockchain, crypto, and fintech space? Have you heard what Edna said?
Yeah, there are certain challenges, Obama. To be honest, to say for every woman who want to come into the space, yes, definitely there are. Everyone need to know a little bit before entering into the space. But most of the people, most of the women are very passionate about the technology. Yes, they jump in. So obviously they look out for the support. Like someone should come, someone should support and all. But I don't think so that the support is not required. Definitely, when you are very much confident enough, definitely yes, you can jump in at any point of time. And yeah, a very small part of our women population is really getting exposed for this blockchain and the cryptocurrency space. So even the government also should come with a policy that they should involve a lot many women and involve a lot many empower many women, like Lisa told in the earlier, like NGO perspective of you, or probably a CEO window, or a lot of employees. When you see the Binance exchange today, 1/3 of the Binance exchange employees are the women. So, being a woman, we have to encourage the co-women who are entering into the space, and we need to engage them with educate them and engage them with what we know. We need to teach them. This is what is the challenges which definitely I have faced in the initial days of my career. Yes, nowadays I'm, yes, of course, giving a lot of priority in educating the women, and giving a lot of work opportunities and involving them in the blockchain-based services by my company.
That's very nice. So let me look at it. If I'm a lady that I want to enter into the crypto fintech space, there are some specific rules. Are there specific rules or positions solely for women in this sector? Lara, let me move to you, Lara.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm a lady, and I want to enter into the crypto space, should I go and look? Is there a specific position I should be interested in, or is every of the positions open for anyone?
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if it's because I'm a feminist, or I think that women can, be in any position that they set their minds to. I don't think there's a specific position for women versus men. But I do think that women are much better at communication. So, if they're in a position where they can interface with people, explain and so forth, I think they do it a lot better. In the fintech, I really think that women, should see how they can help other women. If we look at Africa, you're talking about Nigeria, you're talking about Africa, we have a lot of women there that are unbanked. Okay, and there are a lot of companies today that are using blockchain to help them, have a place in the financial community without being banked. So you have BankU that's coming in. They help the workers that are planting cocoa seeds and taking them and selling them to big companies in Europe and America. Now they have an identity. Now these companies can see them. And now they have, a wallet or and a history of a job. So it kind of gives them more self-worth. So I think that president. So I don't think that there's one specific place where we can say women should be in, but I just think that they should take from their lives and see how they can use that and utilize blockchain and crypto to improve the lives of themselves and women.
Interesting. Victoria, how would you assess the blockchain, crypto, and fintech space, especially in Africa? You are on ground here in Africa. How would you assess it, women participation in this ecosystem?
Is this a question for me?
Yeah, no, Victoria.
Victoria, okay.
Okay, thank you. I would say it's still very, very at an infant phase, like very young, because generally, crypto and blockchain is still gaining gradual adoption into Africa. Right now, we have, I think Nigeria is talking based on crypto awareness, crypto usage, and all that compared to other African countries. And within Nigeria, for example, now we have more men than women actually in this space. And within that very few women, most of the women that joining the crypto space in Nigeria are actually joining because, based on my personal experience, because of the promise of plenty returns. But then when it gets down to trying to understand the intricacies of the crypto and blockchain space, they tend to draw back because it seems a bit too techy. But generally, it's still at a very low phase in Africa in general. But Nigeria is leading when it comes to more awareness, more adoption through crypto usage, crypto payments, and all, and spending crypto generally. So we're still coming up a lot, and this means that we need a lot of crypto education from the basic level, because in my experience, the people I've seen, people that have come to me to ask plenty questions, you see that they have very little or no knowledge at all about crypto, and their personal experience in crypto and blockchain is very it's almost unrelated to what crypto and blockchain is all about. Like sometimes when you hear their question, you can easily say, "Oh, this person has knows nothing about this crypto and blockchain space." So you now start teaching them from the very basic level to a point where they cannot say "Yes, I understand what it's all about." So we have a lot of responsibility towards education, crypto education, because people can't adopt what they don't know how to use. They can't adopt what they don't know how to use. Yeah. So generally in Nigeria, in Africa, we need plenty crypto education, like different platforms that bring it down to the most basic level, and then people can now come up from there. That's my point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. So I'll be getting back to you on how to get more women involved when it comes to what you just said. But let me move to Lisa and let me know her opinion on this. How would you assess this ecosystem? Is it women friendly, the blockchain in the fintech space? How do you see the future of women in this ecosystem?
That's an interesting question. If you sort of look at other industries, like the gaming industry, for example, we're seeing a lot of the people from the gaming industry embracing the blockchain space, and that is not necessarily a good thing, because we do have what we call Bitcoin bros and blockchain babes. We have blockchain events that have been held at Miami strip clubs, and this is not women friendly. This is not going to allow women to, or even women won't want to engage in those types of events. You also see events where I believe there was one a couple of years ago where there were 87 speakers at this event. 84 of them were men. Okay, that's a real problem. So when you have things like that, you have to say, women, instead of thinking of what's in it for me, we need to start thinking of it as what's in it for us. We have to work together to try to make our space in the blockchain world. You can't just say, okay, I'll just wait for somebody to invite me, or I'll see if I can, learn the code or that kind of thing. You can't do that. You can't take a passive role. You have to take an active role, and we have to do it as a collective group of women, not just individuals, or we will never have the power to influence the blockchain space in the way that we need to do. Now, you take that a step further, and a lot of what Victoria was talking about with regard to the technical aspect, we need to make it easier for women to actually engage in the blockchain space via crypto. For example, we have a project with our organization that we're pitching for seed funding right now, which is really to bring cryptocurrency seamlessly into a virtual world economy where the vast majority of the users are women, and they can use our software to create entrepreneurial opportunities for themselves using crypto environments. Right now, it's all US dollar based, which is not financially inclusive around the world. But if we're able to flip the script, so to speak, and engage with cryptocurrency in that economy, then we will level the playing field and provide greater financial inclusion for women. And they don't have to be technical coders, developers to engage in that. And I think if we focus on the end user, we can get more women in the space, because then the blockchain providers and the businesses that are engaged in the fintech community are going to see, oh, hey, we have a lot more women. Think about it. More than half the world's population are women. We need to make sure that blockchain looks like the rest of the world.
Interesting. That's a very nice one. I would like to get your opinion on that, Priya. But before then, let me inform our audience that if you have questions, if you want to ask our questions generally or to any of our speakers, you can drop them on the comment section. That's either chat or Q&A session. For those joining us on Facebook, you can drop it on the comment section. We'll be time after I finish with my own questions toward that direction. So, Priya, how do you see? Let me see your contribution on this. But your own should be broader, generally in the fintech sector. How do you see the future of women?
Yeah, as like Lara told, that there is a lot of male domination in this space, and so even though there is a limited representation of women we can see, but that's a very good number actually. And nowadays there is a lot of women excelling in the space. Okay, like even the one who is talking right now, or Lara, is that she had a very good experience. Like, yeah, if you can follow the people like us, it's really a wonderful thing. And see, we all are actually doing this stuff only because on our personal interest towards passion towards the technology. All right, and if we can be able to provide a proper forum or proper platform, definitely yes, women will excel even more than the expectations. Right. Yeah. So this is very much required for all of us for the growth of to include the women in this fintech and blockchain space. That's all it's about.
That's amazing. Edna, let me get your opinion. Are there some recommendations and suggestions you have to getting more women involved in this space? What are some of the suggestions and recommendations?
Are you asking me? Oh no, Inoh. Okay, Edna.
It's Edna.
Okay.
Okay, so for us, I feel we have to do with the setback that we have, the fear that we can't handle. I think we have to deal with it. And I know that women, we are not good at risk taking. We don't take risk. We don't at all. We always want to consider why it will work more than why it will not work. So we always want to see that things are going well all the time. So wherever especially when it has to do with money, we don't want to take the risk. So I think it's for us as women, it's for us to challenge ourselves that what are these things that we need to do that is a necessity for us to get out there, is a necessity for us to grow, is a necessity to stand out in the world. And when we take that into consideration, we'll actually get things done the right way. We'll actually come out as unique people. Also in the fintech and then the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, I think we women we need enlightenment. Sometimes we feel that okay, so this thing is difficult. I just can't deal with it. Just like Victoria said, by the time you speak with people, you get to find out that they actually need to be they need to be that orientation of what they need to know about blockchain, about cryptocurrency in Nigeria. I think for women, it's okay for us to have a lot of enlightenment. I think we also need to be empowered in that sense. There has to be trainings that would bring the younger generations to align with the events or the evolution, should I say, yes, when it has to do with cryptocurrencies, so everybody can be carried along, especially we women. There is nothing bad in having the tech world coming to meet or to educate or enlighten women in their career, especially when it has to do with the evolution of blockchain, cryptocurrency. I think it's something that we women need to encourage ourselves in, and I think also we need to stay enlightened. Sometimes we get carried away with family issues, we get carried away with different issues that life throws at us, but at some point we just need to sit back and see what is happening in life and how we can play a positive role to it, and how we can grow, and how we can stand out, and how we can be unique wherever we are. I think that would also help us to be relevant wherever we find ourselves, especially in the blockchain, especially in the cryptocurrency space. I think doing these things will actually help us a whole lot as women, and it will not make the other folks see us as this is majorly for women, let them be taken away from it. I think it really bring us up and strengthen us. That's my own point.
Yes.
Okay, we are talking to people like us. Okay, let me see. So let me hear from you, Lara. Talking about she made mention of the fears when it comes to women participation. So, what are the fears confronting women when it comes to blockchain, crypto, and fintech? How can they overcome these fears? When it comes to crypto, most especially, you hear that it's volatile. So, how do women go about all this?
So, I mean, speaking from a woman's perspective, I usually think, it's not more than fear, it's apprehension. So we first need to understand everything before we go into something. Second of all, crypto is a very virtual kind of concept. So if women aren't empowered before with regular money, okay, with day-to-day money and that usage, I don't know how they're going to take that step, to go into crypto, okay? And crypto is scary for women and men. It's not the security, custody of crypto. You hear every day what's happening on exchanges, or what's happening with companies that have tokens that suddenly get hacked and get sold for Ethereum or whatever. So the space in and of itself is still so new that it's fearful for everybody, and more so for women, because they don't want to make a mistake. So when men makes mistakes, even when they're very young, hey, it's okay, you're a guy. But when a woman makes a mistake, she's not only making a mistake for herself, but she's making a mistake, and every single woman out there in the world is going to get blamed for it in the end. She holds her position in life, holds back, represents the woman everywhere. So, for example, when I was interviewing the new CEO of Coinina, she's for the crypto exchange that they've launched, the regulated one in Bahrain, she was saying to me, I don't want to make any single mistake. I want it to be perfect, because if it's not perfect, they're not going to say, GMS a man didn't make it. They're going to say, see, women don't know how to handle, companies and crypto and all of this stuff. So in the end, I think we have a big responsibility, and that's one of the biggest fears. But I also want to tell women out there that blockchain and crypto is one of the most democratizing technologies that have ever come to play in the world today. And this is the time where they won't see if you're a woman or a man behind that crypto. All they will see is that you hold this crypto and your purchasing power and your decision making in terms of what you're going to invest in. And it comes to blockchain, all they're going to see is the history of everything that's ever been on from the beginning to the end. So I think that today women need to understand that both blockchain, crypto are going to emancipate her in more ways than ever before. And so instead of that fear, I hope they have the courage to say, yes, let's move forward and start using it or start implementing it in our businesses, from everything that's very small to what's very big. I hope I helped.
Women know how to multitask, do many things at a time. You
Yes.
have that ability. So I believe it will also help them in this space. Let me move to Victoria. Victoria, earlier on you made mention of less women participation, most especially you made mention Nigeria, that where Nigeria is popular, but women are not that much involved. So how do we connect more women into crypto blockchain and getting more women involved? How do we do that? How do you think your own suggestions?
Okay, first of all, we'll start with
Your audio is not clear. Sorry, Victoria. Your audio is not clear.
Alright, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Alright. I
Please go
said
ahead.
that. Okay, first off, I believe, like I said before, about crypto education. I think we need to start the inclusive crypto education platform, create more opportunities, and making sure way that women would see that it's something that they can be part of, and then if you can get them to involve in these platforms and get them to actually listen, they will not and bring everything down to a basic level. They will see the need to get more involved in this space. Just like some of us said, mentioned about women not being that Lara and Edna, about women not so risk oriented. Men are the ones that actually dive head into this thing. But we women have to count all the costs first before we dive in. So we need to create more, just like Lisa said, we need to not just stop thinking about self, but also like women, we need to think about ourselves. Because I noticed that some persons, the few women in this space in Nigeria are actually like they're on their own. There's no room for connection, for networking. So the few that are in this space that are literally on their own, it's not like they're doing it consciously, but if we can have a way to bring everyone together, and from there we now start creating more platforms to involve more women and make them see that these things are doable, that we need more women in this space, because the more women, the more we can bring in other women, and then it goes from there. So we need an all-inclusive platform for women in Nigeria, so we can start from there and then start bringing other women in. And within that space, that it has to be very basic, like very, very, very basic. So because if you don't see a need for something, you won't be able to participate in it. I know that is based on experience. I've seen immediately you mentioned one or two times, they just turn away from me because it sounds too serious, like too, so they just turn away and stay with what they are familiar with. So first of all, let's network more, create more platforms where more women, we can bring in more women, and hold small events that bring in more women, get other women to involve all women, and then we'll start from there.
That's a very nice suggestion from you, Victoria. Mr. Let me get to you. We haven't said all these, all of us, all of you have been able to contribute. I wanted to say all of us. So, what's your advice to women in blockchain and fintech, crypto, those that are already into the ecosystem and those who are intending to enter?
That's an interesting question. The very first thing that I did and that I recommend other women do is use the blockchain. Engage in the fintech aspect, engage in crypto, understand how it works from an end user perspective. But for the larger businesses, the investors, they need to start supporting women developing solutions on the blockchain. They don't have to be crypto. They can be really tech for good. And I think this is an opportunity for us to really utilize the blockchain in tech for good, social impact platforms, because those are the things that women are interested in. One of the things that I mentioned earlier about creating opportunities, I'm talking about the ability to do art, the ability to do scripting, the ability to do modeling, the ability to perform in the virtual world environments, being able to work from home. Those opportunities right now are limited only because the fiat currency backing those opportunities is not inclusive. So if we start looking at ways to engage more women, then we're going to get more women investors. We're going to get more programs that have social impact, which invites more women to feel empowered within the blockchain. And so empowerment, that's the key.
Interesting. That's a very nice contribution. So let me check for some questions from our audience. Let me see if I could keep some questions here. I have one from Cynthia. The question, Cynthia said, the question I'm asking is how do we achieve this with this ban in Nigeria, which has created a lot of fear and concern for even those who we are beginning to pick interest? So I believe this question will be to people who are already in Nigeria who can answer it. Let me see. Edna, do you have anything to say about that?
Um, so I know that the rule does not stop the knowledge. The truth is that yes, the bank has moved forward to make their decision, but it's different from you having a knowledge of what is happening in the crypto, the Bitcoin, the blockchain, sorry, and then the fintech world. So the main thing is having a knowledge, having an understanding of what it entails, having everything knowledgeable about what it takes to be there, and then moving with it. So you do not restrict your knowledge based on where you find yourself, or based on events that comes out of situations or in a particular location. Knowledge is deep such that someone produces a book or edits a book in America, you can actually read that book here in Nigeria and still get the knowledge in that book. So because federal government moves to rule that okay, so anything about crypto should be on a pause or whatever, you yourself, do you have a knowledge of what it entails to be in the blockchain space? Do you have the knowledge of the cryptocurrency, or being in the cryptocurrency space? If you don't, I think it's you getting that knowledge, you sinking yourself in it and have it in you that I know this, so I might find myself in America tomorrow and I can still operate in this particular space. But when we limit ourselves to what location gives to us or what event gives to us, I don't think we are able to touch lives, we are able to do things differently. So for me, I don't think the law stops your knowledge. No, you are the knowledge and you move with the knowledge. And who knows, tomorrow you might be the one that will change the law based on your knowledge. So it's
Can I,
open. Get the knowledge first.
can I just say something as well on this question?
Go ahead, Lara.
So from the research that's been going on, the countries that mostly ban crypto are the countries that are really the most active in it. So we look today, for example, in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, the banking and the government has banned crypto all the time, every single day, and they keep repeating it. Or if you look at India, for example, the government keeps flipping from banning it to, not, but still the beauty about crypto is that you can ban it all you want, okay? And people can still be able to buy, sell, and hold it, because that was the whole concept of it. The whole concept was that it was independent from central banks, from the banking sector, from the government, and so forth. The only problem that you're going to have is that if you want to go back into fiat, if you want to go back into their world of spending and their world of saving and their world of, then you can't maybe put it into a bank account. So you'll have to hold it in crypto until you can go to an over-the-counter to have it cashed out or something else. But it hasn't stopped or hindered the growth of crypto, but just because countries are banning the using of it.
Okay, actually, even in Nigeria, it wasn't actually a ban. Even people are saying it's a ban. Like you rightly said, cryptocurrency cannot be banned. Even in Nigeria, what the central bank said was that the banking agencies, the banks and other financial institutions should stop rendering of providing services to cryptocurrency platforms, companies. There is not actually a ban. They are not hunting after the operators. So that's correct the narrative that people went ahead to say it's banned. So any other contribution on this question before we check another question?
Can I say something?
Do you have it? Yeah, go ahead, Victoria.
Yeah. Okay. Just like Edna said, we need when you get an information like this, and just like you rightly said, many persons actually misinterpreted the word the CBN did. A lot of persons really misinterpreted it. I remember that particular day when they put forth the ban, and everybody thought that what happens to crypto in general. The only thing I saw that happened was that it's limited people being able to convert their crypto immediately to fiat. So that brought in the brought back the option of using P2P, peer-to-peer transactions for people, because that's actually the initial idea behind crypto. There wasn't supposed to be a bank, there was supposed to be an intermediary like banks between two persons trying to transact their crypto. So people had to start looking for other options. So when things like this happen, first of all, get the right narrative, like you said, and then know what to do from there. Because if you have the understanding of what crypto really is, it won't even be a bother. That was what I was trying. That period, I had lots of questions. I received lots of concerns from people trying to understand what will happen, what will not happen to them. I tried to explain to them that if you actually understand what the whole technology behind crypto, you will know that this is actually nothing. People can custody, can hold their crypto without even nobody knowing how much or what the worth of their portfolio and all that. So first thing first, get the right narrative and then know how you can go from there. It's really not a concern for people. It's really not a concern for people. Many people now are beginning to get used to the whole P2P idea. Get used to it and then move from there. Eventually, we'll have more adoption in Nigeria and beyond.
Yeah, that was very nice one. Thank you very much. Let me move to the next question here. This one is directed to you, Lara. So, Lara, what do you think about Arabs' involvement in cryptocurrency? Joe Ford is asking.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Because I couldn't hear it and I don't see it on the chat.
Just is on the questions. Just click on the question. The question says, Lara, what do you think about Arabs' involvement in cryptocurrency?
Arabs' involvement in cryptocurrency, I think that it's actually increasing over, since I started in the space in 2014 and now we're 2021, there's a boom of interest in the Arab world. There's two kinds of interest. So if you go to countries that are in economic turmoil, like, Lebanon, Syria, maybe Jordan, etc., they're moving into the crypto because they want to safeguard their money, or they want to find a way to do payments without having to go through the sector. And then you have in the countries that are economically well off, they're so used to they've always been investing. They're the type of people that are always using the stock markets. They have an accumulated knowledge of how to invest and how to play the markets and so forth. And now they're seeing crypto as one of the new channels for them to alternative investment channels that they can go into, especially with COVID and the economic situation globally. And even, I was reading a research the other day that in 2020, there was an increase in the number of women in the Arab world using crypto by around 2%, which is interesting as well to see. So I think there's a growth globally, and the Arab world is no different.
That's very nice. Let me take the last question here, then we'll be concluding. This one is from Enlight. He said, how can we use blockchain tech to solve gender inequality and abuse?
And who is that question for?
Nobody, so anyone can take it.
One of the things that we look at with gender inequality and abuse is most women do not have the same access to money that men do, and that is globally. But even within the United States, we have that problem, and it's surprising in general. But how are we going to make sure that women have more access to funding? We need to work together to make sure that women are empowered by the technologies, empowered by fintech, empowered by crypto, and have the opportunities, as Edna mentioned, for education. And I know Victoria talked about that in Priya as well. If women have the opportunity to gain knowledge, they can work to fight that gender inequality and the abuse that results from that. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other person, any other contribution on that?
Yeah, I think that, like I said before, any technology that helps create a more democratized world is a technology that will help create more equality for women. And even if you look at if I give you a very small example. So example, if a woman is in an abusive household, right? And, or if she goes to work and comes back and every day her husband takes her money, right? So, I mean, if she had it in crypto and a digital wallet, and then no one could do that to her, you know what I mean? If she, if she has a lawsuit, or if there's a huge issue between her and somebody else, right? If every document that was ever had was on the blockchain, then she would feel more secure and safe in being able to go up against this, because she wouldn't worry about, you know, what society or what government, if they're with her or against her. And this is especially true when you talk about women in developing countries, or women in countries where it's a man's world. So if the technology could be used to help her defend herself, to help her with financially being independent, then yes, you would solve a lot of gender inequality issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice. Do you have any other contribution?
I have one more point to put across over here. as Lara was talking, sorry, Lisa was talking regarding the work opportunities about the blockchain space. So there is a wrong misconception for a lot of newcomers in the space. I have a suggestion over here that most of the people think that cryptocurrency is only for the blockchain people, right? That's a wrong thing. In fact, see, cryptocurrency space have a lot of work opportunities. We have a community managers. We have a developers, we have the event managers, PR holders, we have article writers, content writers. So there is a lot of opportunities that we can be able to explore because see, I'm a non-technical person basically. So the moment I entered into the space, I thought, oh, blockchain, I need to write a code, I need to know the bootstrap, I need to know the Java. So this is not my cup of tea. So we need to make it clear as the influencers in the space, we need to make it clear and tell everyone that we need to show the variation that this is your cup of tea. So if you're a non-technical person, yes, this is where the opportunities you have. And if you're a coder, you have to go for the blockchain, like how the Lisa told, right? So this thing is the most challenging thing, what people don't know about the crypto and blockchain. In fact, the fintech space, we have a lot of opportunities in the fintech too.
Thank you
I
very
totally
much.
agree with you, Priya. There's a lot.
Right. So,
Yes.
yes, Lara, true.
Yes, there's a lot. Okay, so let me just add a little before. Okay, so just as Ratnam had said, there are a lot of opportunities here, and
Yes.
the truth is that in as much as we face problems daily in the space, let me put it that way, there are a lot of solutions coming out too, and so there are still a lot of positions coming out too. So it's for us to, like I said, don't let's take the opportunity, let's seize it, let's be in it to see that as the tech space is moving, we too are moving with it, because a lot of things are changing and they're changing fast. They're not changing slowly, they're changing as fast as possible. So how enlightened we are as women is what gives us that value to stand in this space. So more as we face more obstacles daily, so we have more solutions daily, and so more positions are coming out for us daily. So it's better we are enlightened, it's better that we put ourselves in the place where these positions or these opportunities will not elude us as they keep coming forth. So as women, let's just take the chance, we choose to challenge it. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That has been an amazing session with beautiful ladies. I use this.
I really want to, before I go, I just want to thank you very much for doing this. It was, I'm really happy that I met you all, even electronically, and I hope we can, connect offline as well. I really want to thank you for bringing us together.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and also for networking, you can go back to the stage. You can network or networking. Just go backstage and network. So I really appreciate, and I use this opportunity to wish you all a happy International Women's Day celebration, and all the ladies and women out there. I wish them a happy celebration. So thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you, Lara, Abdulmalak.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. And thank you, Priya, for joining us and coming up with this. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Victoria.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Lara. We all will get connected. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you, Priya, everybody. Lisa, Victoria.
Thank you.
I'm going to